in Utah. Do you live here?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And how many kids do you have?
A lot. 4.
He had 4 kids. How do you manage a business and 4 kids?
It's impossible, but I try. I have a very good wife. That's how.
You know what? We all want to really, I need a new wife. I really do. All right, so talk to me. Have you always, now you didn't start out being the superstar. You worked in a warehouse.
Yes.
All right, he also has the wickedest sense of humor. You're going to love this. Let's go back to warehouse. What were you doing in a warehouse?
Just inventory management, just shipping, receiving, just, the typical warehouse experience.
Right, and then you woke up one day and said?
I don't want this anymore. I met some people that were killing on Amazon. Well, doing very well on Amazon, right. And just through like playing basketball at the gym, I was like, hey, what do you guys do? And I was just like, that sounds awesome. I want to like get in on it. I came to them and was like, hey, like, you guys actually don't know how to do shipping very well. And I was like, I know how to do that. I provided some value and just was like, and then I just was like, hey, teach me the other side of it, right? I want to learn this side of it.
Right. How long was that?
It probably took, just between everything, probably 6 months to a year. So just to where I was like, okay, like now I'm good. I'm an expert. I could, go out and do my own. Well,
I'm an expert at Amazon at buying stuff. I'm an expert at buying.
Everyone is.
It is like
Everyone
Christmas.
is.
The poor guy and I, we have a great relationship. I got those packages like, oh my God, look what's here. I cannot believe that Amazon can deliver like same day. I don't even understand how the company runs. But I will also tell you that I attempted to be a seller on Amazon. Y'all know I have a fitness product. And this is before FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon, where you had to ship, there were so many criteria that I launched the business and promptly crashed the business and we burned. I just could not keep up with the demand and the understanding, and it's complicated. And they do that on purpose. They really run a very tight ship.
They do. They want you to be in stock. They want you to be Prime. Before Prime, they want you to be spending money on ads. They want you to be, very actively engaged with the Amazon ecosystem, because that's where people buy stuff.
It's where everybody buys stuff. So raise your hand if you want to know more. Thank you very much. That's all of you. Well, because one is buying, two is definitely. The other thing I think that's ridiculous about Amazon, and God bless them as a company, their return policy is second to none.
Oh yeah.
Which has got to mess with you. If you are selling, getting stuff back like that, you got to be prepared. You got to understand. You got to have your customer service in line. So I ventured in. Connor and I met at a dinner, and he was just very funny. You said the funniest line at dinner. What was that one? You made.
Well, your husband is a bodybuilder.
He is. That would be Joshua. He's rather built.
We went around the table and was like, "What's your profession, or what are you doing, or something like that?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm also a professional bodybuilder." And that Forbes seemed to love it. I don't know why. Hopefully, Josh doesn't hurt me for making.
No. Just a great sense of humor, and we really started to talk into. Let's bring this conversation about Amazon to my network.
Yeah.
Now, let's assume somebody wants to sell on Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, here's the interesting thing. And you guys know this. I teach you how to affiliate. If you want to go to affiliatewithforbes.com, we have a program that teaches you the concept. Because most of my career, I didn't own anything. Yeah. For the first 30 years, I was the spokesperson for everyone else's product because I can pitch. So if you got a product or a company, they would come to me going, help me figure out the pitch. And then they would pay me. I never touched inventory, customer service. I love the affiliate thing.
Yeah, it's great.
So let's just start with that concept. I want all of you to hear this. You want some extra capital, extra cash, become an affiliate to Amazon. What does that mean?
Yeah, so you can become an affiliate to Amazon with, basically any product. You go in and sign up with the Amazon affiliate program, and you can just pick and choose your products that Amazon has, which is over 1 billion products. So
I'm sorry, how many?
1 billion with a B.
I didn't even know there was. That's crazy. Billion products.
Yes, not all of them sell, but
well, and it's really also important. People having a crazy idea. There's this picture of Jeff Bezos in his garage.
Oh yeah.
He had the stupidest idea. Let me explain to you, okay? Because I don't always win. The stupidest selling books on the internet. Can you imagine how stupid books are heavy to ship? People aren't reading books. That's how this whole conglomerate started.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how we started. Was one of the things we were selling books and toothbrushes.
Well, there you go. And people love.
You're gonna stuff on Amazon. Like, isn't that just big companies? Isn't that just Nike and all these other companies that just sell the big things? So no, actually, I believe it's 60 or 70% are just resellers like me, or sellers that have their own little brand.
Want to be blown away? How much did one of your products that you launched 2 months ago make in a month?
We launched a product 2 months ago, and last month in January did $40,000 in just one product.
In 1 month of a product that you've never heard of. So I just want you to perk up and go, wait, what did he just say? Now let's take this seriously. So one, you could affiliate with someone else, but your specialty is taking a product, right?
Yeah.
How do you, let's say I want to do that. I want to go to Amazon. I want to open up sell a product. What do I
there's
do?
even 3 different types of ways to do it, right? There's the what they call retail arbitrage. So they go to like a Ross or a Walmart or whatever. There's scanning apps that you go scan apps that things are in store, and there's an app that'll tell you this is something that will sell on Amazon. They tell you how much it'll make, pretty much, and that's all name brand stuff. Some of the stuff is a little bit harder to sell on Amazon, but that you can just go to the store, like any type of store, you could do that.
Wait, what's the name of this app?
One is, I haven't done that in a long time, but you just look up Amazon Scanner app on the App Store.
All right.
And you'll find it. And there's a million will pop up. I can't remember what the one I use.
Well, the other app that doesn't exist anymore, when I first sold on Amazon, and you never even think this is an app, the thing you could know, was called Unicorn Smasher.
Yeah.
You would go there and it would tell you who's selling how much of everything. I'm like, this is like gold.
Oh, for sure. 100%. 100%. The other way is, or the other way is retail arbitrage, which you just buy it from the retail shops where you just buy in bulk and things of that nature.
And then you have to ship
and
it.
you ship it, and you buy it in, and they ship it to Amazon. And then, so that's another way. And the other way is private label and white label. So there's a little bit difference between them, but they're pretty much
Well, there's a fourth way. Make your own stuff.
Yeah, make your own stuff, right? And that's kind of the private label, is where you are making your own, product,
right?
Maybe off of the back of something else and stuff like that. But yeah, no, and those are the ways to sell. And so we specialize in the private label and making our own things, making original products, or making products better. You see something and you're like, oh, we can make this better. We look at reviews, we look at things that people are already buying,
right? And
we go, this product could use this. And you make it better, and it sells better, or you're stealing part of the other person's sales, essentially. And that's kind of the way we look at things sometimes as well, because you're just like, oh, there's one big guy doing this, and let's steal some of his sales by making a product that's better than theirs.
Don't tell anybody about this. This is very proprietary. Now, so is it a good idea if you want to make money that you venture into Amazon, or is it such a big sea you could get lost?
Both. But I would say there are very few companies that should not sell on Amazon.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because you're losing out on sales by not being Amazon. You talked about the return policy, right? That is trust, brand trust. With Amazon. If you don't like a product, you're getting that money back.
Right.
Now, as a seller, but you have that trust you need that trust with the customer. That's how you build that trust with the customer, and they've built that for you.
Now, there is a downside to Amazon that, as a digital marketer, I think it's really important. By the way, if this is interesting to you, reach out to me or reach out to you, and I'll give you his information in a second. But one of the downsides of Amazon is you don't collect the information. Correct. You don't get the email. Is that a problem?
No, I don't think so. It can be, but I don't think it as a problem. I think it as, people are trusting that Amazon will take care of you, and they do. I don't need. It's better if you were on, if they had it on your website and you were like, oh, I can now communicate with this person, but they're communicating with Amazon, and Amazon communicates with you, and you're taking care of the customer no matter what.
I have 2 strategies. I'm not going to tell you what they are, to get emails and to work with the customer, that are very foolproof strategies that I would love to share with you. So I would hop on over to my Instagram and just DM me a message saying, I want strategies, because this is powerful. One of the things that we teach is the value of your email list and how you can build it to several 100,000 people, and why you'd want to do that, and how we have a program called GSD, an email list. GSD stands for Get Shit Done. And we get shit done in a lot of ways. We do that for an ebook, for an online course, but the email list has become our biggest selling concept, because we share current strategies. I remember when I was first starting out in business, my daughter was with me at this event, And this guy said, watch me shop my list.
Mhm.
Like, what does that mean? He went on, he had a concept, a product he was selling, put it out to his list. An hour later, there was $4,000 in his bank account. He said, you want to know how I do that? Shh, don't tell anybody. And he was like, I shop my list.
Yep.
And what that means is providing great value, but also getting your list. So I have 2 strategies. I'm not even telling you what they're.
No, that's all right.
No, but he's doing so well, he doesn't need my strategy. But you at home want to know what he knows. Do you recommend that people hire someone like you or try to do it themselves, or what do you think?
I would say you would want to dive in a little bit to know what's going on, and
Okay.
then come to me when you are at, a certain scale, or you have a product that you just, or if you don't know anything, I would say dive in a little bit, find out what you don't know, and then come to me and go, hey, I know how to put, pictures on here, but I don't know how to run ads. I don't know how to run SEO. I don't know how to create, videos for my
Channel.
for my SKU number, whatever.
There you
So
go.
yeah, I'm blanking on words here for a second.
I'm getting, well, if you're, well, by the way, you need to understand, if you are listening to this broadcast, very rarely do I ever sit with my victim, my guest. And I'm literally sitting next to him. If you want to see this on video, I highly recommend you pop over to YouTube, where I am now streaming all of my shows just to get a visual of what we're doing. I used to stream on my Facebook, but I just got shut out of Facebook completely.
Oh no.
You know what? Guys, this is why you want your own email list. I got hacked out many years ago, and something just recently happened again.
Oh, no.
And so I'm sitting here with it looks like I have Facebook, but I don't. And which is hampering what I do. But it also opened my eyes to, first of all, I spent way too much time on Facebook is what I concluded. I now have free time.
Right.
I now meditate.
Yeah, right. She's telling me products is what she's doing.
Right.
Hey, go figure this one out, Connor.
Right, that's exactly what it is. So now but I will tell you, it's been fascinating to me because I think I used to wake up and start Facebook. I have to really, I'm so glad I don't do that. But also explore other channels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing too. Of all your social medias, what do you love most?
I would say Instagram or YouTube.
Okay, why?
YouTube for learning.
Oh my God, you can do anything on YouTube.
YouTube University is a real thing, They say my brother just finished his basement from YouTube.
I get it. I make recipes from YouTube all the time.
Yeah, right. It's and great place to learn Amazon, honestly.
Oh.
I have not dipped my toes in the Amazon instruction.
GSD and online course coming to you.
I need to. I really
Yeah.
do. I think that would help a lot of people, because I think there's a lot of people that, hey, it's headline capturing. That's what they want to do. And I'm more of like, let's help the people make money. That's what I want to do. I want to help other people make money, because I'm just a normal guy. I was just a normal guy. I worked at a warehouse. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And I think
that's a great ad, by the way. We're going to make $100 million selling an online course.
No, and yeah, I think that's something I will be doing in the future for sure.
I love that. Well, he's got 4 kids to put through college. And since one is only one, we have enough lead time to make this happen.
We got a long way to go.
What's the biggest lesson you think that you've learned by dipping into this Amazon space?
I think anyone could do anything.
Right.
But also just self-reliance, relying on myself,
Oh.
doing things for myself. If I was just at a warehouse job, I don't think I could be where I'm at today. I think.
And where are you at? So let me, my audience, but what does that mean? Because I don't think a lot of people realize. They hear the word entrepreneur, or they hear get rich quick, and if it doesn't work, they're feeling lost.
Yeah.
Where are you now?
No, I live in a nice house in Utah, and we, I have 4 kids, so it's a lot of money.
I get it.
But I've done $30 million plus on Amazon in the last 7 years or so. So I think if being an entrepreneur is not as sexy as most people think.
Well, okay. Well, here's the non-sexy part. I've worked 18-hour days.
Mm-hmm.
When I first launched my coaching company, my daughter and I locked ourselves in a room, and there was COVID, so we had nowhere else to go.
Yeah, right.
But we literally hammered out with this sense of dedication, like there was nothing else that we did every day, all day.
Yeah.
And so when we launched, we immediately, our first day in business, made $25,000.
Yeah. Wow.
I know, because we put the time in,
Yeah.
learned the structure, and launched. You cannot half do this, but you can at some point realize that you're not going to get it all in one day.
No.
And I came to the table with a lot of experience.
Yes.
And Bart, who was just on, have you ever met Bart?
I have not.
Oh my God, you're going to love him. But he said something really profound about it being a recipe.
Yes.
That everything in life is a recipe. If you want a great marriage, find the guy who's done that and learn his recipe. If you want to know how to do Amazon, go to Connor and find out his recipe. You want to know how to pitch, come to me for my recipe, because I do the same thing day in and day out.
Yep.
And this is the thing that people don't realize, is that once you hit the vein of gold, you mine it for all of, you don't need to do every vein, and you can.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the biggest thing when people come to me is, well, I want to do this, this, and this. I'm like, when you go to the buffet, do you have a fork full of everything? Imagine the dessert, the entree, and a steak all in your mouth at the same time.
Nope.
It's disgusting.
Yep.
You do one at a time, you get good at that, and then you can move on.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question. Let's project you. Let's assume your business is maybe on autopilot. You've had people to do what you do. Your course is doing great. What do you want to do next?
What do I want to do next? I mean, speaking would be great. You know,
and, I have a next level stuff. I know someone.
Do you know anyone? Could you connect me with? I mean, speaking and just motivating people. I think that's what I would love to do, because, you know, as you call it a recipe, I call it a system, right?
Same difference.
Same thing, right? I've created a system in my life where it's like what works for me, because I do have 4 kids. I do have a wife that has needs. I do have, you know, I got sports practices to get to. I've got, you know, I'm driving the minivan to, you know,
right. And you want to be able to do that, because at the end of your life, here's what I have learned, and everyone said it, but you don't hear it loud enough until it affects you. I'm at a season in my life where my kids are gone. They're 21 years old. They don't need me. They just came back they paid for their own trip to learn to scuba dive in Belize, hang out in Guatemala, and climb an active volcano 6 hours straight up. I know, right? And the whole time you're like white knuckling. How can my 8-year-old be on her own in Belize? Well, she's not 8 anymore.
Yeah, right.
And they don't need you. And it's really fascinating that you go from the season of, I'm going to drive the kids everywhere and be responsible, and all of a sudden going, wow, empty nester, what do? Big lesson as you're hearing this, though, that I learned for you and for your wife. Be very cautious that you don't give up your life for your kids.
For sure.
Because when they leave, and I remember this with my mom, I looked at my mom at 17 and I was going off to college, and she had all these hopes and dreams before I was born and had very few of them when I left the house.
Yep.
And I watched her not live a fulfilled life. And so I was wildly motivated to not stop working. I never stopped working.
Yeah.
And that's challenging, because I just knew that if I stopped that momentum, it's hard to go back to something. Yeah. So I always, like, it chugged along. I still was mom, but I had help. Yeah. I had, you know, people around me, and I said, you know what? You got to trust that other people can help with your kids as well. The other thing I'll give to you is that my mom was an only child. So she wanted to be my sister and my best friend, and we don't get along today because she played us against each other.
Gotcha.
This thing I chose to do, because if you're smart enough to learn from the generation before you, is I stepped away from my kids a little bit and allowed them to love on each other in a way that they travel together. My twins, I don't know any other kids, brother, sister, who actively want to go on trips together and travel and do the kind of things, yet they also live separate lives. He's in college, she's doing a business, but they're in business together. And they love each other because I wasn't all over them. Yeah. Now with 4, obviously there'll be alliances. Yeah. They're gonna all gang up on you in different ways.
No, for sure. That's great advice. I mean, I think, my wife has her own life. She's got friends. They go on trips. They do things together with all her friends and with her family. She has her own life that fulfills her, but also we fulfill our children as well. So that's the most important part.
I found the ones who say that, I just gave up my life for my children, do not win in the long run.
I think so too. Yeah, I think that's a problem for sure, 100%.
Oh, it fascinates me. I love this conversation. You have any questions for me?
You said you dove into Amazon and you kind of sensitive subject apparently.
Well, because they shut me down.
Yeah.
And it's a big company, and I'm going to tell you, if you're listening, that you probably spend every day, all day, talking, thinking, and diving into Amazon. Am I correct?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's a moving beast, and you got to stay on top of it. I wasn't focused on Amazon as my main source of income. Yeah. It was like a side hustle. I thought, how hard can this be? Right. And then when they said you didn't comply, and I'm like, which is why the companies, is why they built this trust. Their compliance, they're on it.
Oh yeah.
And they have to be.
Yeah.
I just couldn't keep up with the demand.
Yep.
So what I should have done sooner, and this is where I'm learning also, is find an alliance of somebody who spends 24/7 eating and breathing Amazon.
Yep.
And then make money that way. So one, to reach out to you.
Yes.
But I love what you said. Dive in first. Get to understand. I mean, I learned a lot of things, but it also changes.
Yeah.
Every ecosystem changes.
For sure. Well, and then you don't get taken advantage of either, right? You're like, this is going to happen, and then they're like, wait a minute, I've already looked at this a little bit, and it's not that's not the case, for whatever reason. It could be like, well, it's going to cost you, actually it's 20% from Amazon. It's like, well, it's only 15% that they take from their cut, right? There's just things that some people that are going to say that's just like, that's stretching the truth a little bit, right?
Well, one of the things we talk about on this show is that teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
And stay in your lane. I mean, again, I am now becoming an epitome of all the little magnets that I used to hear on the refrigerator. Some of the obstacles you overcome, well, in terms you are. Life happens for you, not to you.
Yep.
But the teamwork thing is to literally, one, realize that you're only really good in your own lane.
Yeah.
You could probably do it all. Tell me about your partner, and you have a team who does what you do.
Yeah, so I have a partner. He is the ads SEO guru, right? That's his lane. My lane is sourcing the product, finding great niche products or great diamond in the rough products. That's what I
Oh
do.
shoot, we have 1 minute to the end of my show. I was so busy just enjoying the show. I didn't even see the countdown. Guys, give me 30 seconds, go.
So that we have a great relationship with all of our we've done $100 million brands, and we help anyone and everyone grow their Amazon.
How do we find you?
So you can go to my Instagram at Conair Harding, and you
ConairHarding.com or right on Instagram. Guys, in 30
Instagram.
seconds. You're listening to the Forbes Factor. It has been an absolute blast. I could talk about Amazon all day, but also what a great guy, great dad, great energy. This show has been filled with two beautiful guests. Guys, thank you for watching. If you're enjoying it, remember we're on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music, and I invite you, as always, to go see us on Voice America, who I'm going to go see, by the way, in Phoenix, Arizona. And finally, we're here every week. Thank you guys so much for being part of our world. I'll see you next time. My name is Forbes Riley. Forbes is the magazine. Riley is in the good life. Go make it that way. Bye, everybody.
All clear. Great show.
I'm so glad I noticed you. All right. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Hope you all both have a great rest of your